Greetings everybody and welcome. Today is going to be a bit different. Today we are not going to rant, review, critique or something like that. Today we're just going to sit down, relax and taking a look at some of my video games in my video game collection, which is more than 1,000 video games and counting. 1,100 video games might sound like a lot of games for the average Joe, but for collectors it is rather small. So today I decided we could take a look at some of the more strange looking video games that I happen to own. First, let's look through my retro collection. NES, SNES, Sega, Atari. Rather normal looking, right? Well, a few games stick out like a sore thumb. First one being Atlantis on the Atari 2600. Most Atari 2600 games look like this. And sometimes they look like this. But the creators behind Atlantis thought, that's way too easy, let's make this deformed cartridge instead. Seriously, it even says iMagic on it. So, I assuming it's made by Apple. Anyway, not much to say about the game in general, it's just a weird idea to make the cartridge look so damn unique. Speaking of cartridges, I got one on my Mega Drive or Genesis collection that's also weird looking. Pete Sampras Tennis. Before we start talking about this game, I just want to ask, what is it with sports games and naming their games after people? We got Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, we got Muhammad Ali Heavyweight Boxing, we got Ayrton Senna Super Monaco GP2, we got Davis World Cup Tour, and we got... Well, I can't even read that! What is up with these fucking sports games? It's like, oh, let's play Miyamoto's Mario or Kojima's Metal Gear. We just don't do that! Anyway, back to Pete Sampras Tennis. This game actually included a multi-tab on the game cartridge. What the fuck? And this is actually rather ingenious. Never in my entire life have I ever seen this done before. Even with my PS2 I had to buy this multi-tab, and even then I was lucky if I could even find a 4-player game. But this video game, you know from the time you put it in that yeah, this is a 4-player video game. Now, for obvious reasons, I really can't try this out, since I'm all alone with all of these fucking video games. This is a rather interesting case. I got Predator on Game Gear. How can I play Game Gear, you might ask, with an add-on to my Retron 5? This game, well, nothing special looking on the outside apart from a jumpy looking picture from the movie and maybe a bit of miscolored through the times, of course. But when you decide to put the game in... Yeah, it's completely pink. One of the most testosterone-filled movies of the 80s. And the video game is pussy pink. Now, this is indeed a video game glitch and something is obviously wrong with my cartridge. But I still find it rather funny that it is indeed pink. Okay, next up we got another strange cartridge from Pokemon. Now, most Pokemon games actually look different, usually through different colors like red and blue. But this pinball came, yeah, Pokemon Pinball. Yeah, Pokemon had everything, puzzles, trading cards, even cigarettes. Okay, the last one I hopefully made up, but you never know with Pokemon. Back to this video game, it just looks off to me, like some sort of ROM hack emulator kind of thing, like the Game Genie. You take your Game Boy, you put the ROM emulator in, and then you find somewhere to put the game in. Fuck. But no, apparently it's supposed to be Rumble or something. Yeah, a Rumble pinball machine. Look, I usually don't play that much on a pinball machine, but I don't think that many people associate a pinball machine with a fucking Rumble feature. Anyway, the game cartridge uses a AAA battery, meaning if you play on the Game Boy Pocket, you need 3 of those sockets in order to play the games. But it is meant to be played on the Game Boy Color, and I have to admit, the Rumble feature feels nice. Okay, what else do we got? Well, how about Go-Go Kirby on the Game Boy Color? Note, this particular video game cannot really be played on a Game Boy Advance SP, Retron 5, or even a GameCube Game Boy adapter, for more obvious reasons. Why? Simple, it uses gyroscopic controls, meaning you have to tilt the Game Boy in order to play the game. Meaning doing this with anything else than the Game Boy Color either result in reversed play or lifting heavy consoles. Still, I don't quite understand how this actually works. I mean, it looks like any other Game Boy Color game to me, so... Well, apart from being pink, of course. Next, I want to talk a tiny bit about my NES collection, since they vary quite a lot. First off, there are some rather generic grey boxes with some unusually good as well as some rather bad eyed. Well, not quite as bad as some Master System games, but, you know. First up, we got the art on the cover, and I mean pure art like Mario Brothers, Pac-Man, and even Mission Impossible, I would say, looks rather artistic. But then we got stuff like Anticipation. What the hell? It's just a bunch of people looking like they have fun. Seriously, I don't care whether or not they are having fun playing the game, I want to have fun playing the fucking game.
Like totally rad, yeah, I know, great name, but that punk lizard looks awesome, I mean seriously.
I believe myself I can have a ton more fun with this rad looking lizard who also probably likes punk rock than I can with Anticipation. And in reality, it's probably the other way around. Speaking of fun covers, here I got Gargoyle's Quest, which just screams awesome fun. You got this awesome gargoyle, which if you play Ghosts and Goblins, you really hate. We got a castle in existence and a ton of awesome and creative monsters. Don't mind the stain on the cartridge though. That's the previous owner who decided to take a dump on the game. Apparently the guy who owned this game before me took such a huge dump on the game that the plastic cover broke on impact. Almost like the guy having taken a shit in months, so the turd was rock solid, almost petrified. Damn. The guy who owned this game before me really hated that gargoyle. I also got Paperboy 2, boring as all hell. Hope the guy on the cycle falls down and hurts himself really bad. You know, to be more like the video game, of course. Now on to Captain Planet on the NES. Yeah, I know, but stay a while and listen, okay? The cover is rather generic, maybe too much blue. 7.8 out of 10, too much water. Yeah, I'm sorry, but what I wanted to say is this. Looking at Captain Planet Season 1 DVD collection, yeah, I got Captain Planet Season 1 on DVD, so fucking what? On the back of the box, it says made from 100% recycled fibers with an average of 60% post-consumer recyclable and compostable. And by looking at the insides, we can clearly see it's pure paper or cardboard, whichever it is. So here's my concern. When everything on the DVD are so damn eco-friendly, why the hell is it that the video game is 100% filthy fucking plastic? And I bet you, the copper box that came in on release date, that was covered in plastic, like they didn't give a flying fuck. So that was a look at some of the more strange or just plain out funny things that I happen to own. I hope you enjoyed this rather different episode, and I'll see you in the next one.